So these experts are now saying that the worst part of COVID is actually behind us now. So if that's the case, so there shouldn't be no more fear mongering, there shouldn't be no more worry, no more fear whatsoever if that is the case. So if that's the case, then what's the whole point of this? Why now? A lot of just little questions just to kind of pop up. But yeah, let's go ahead and just jump into this video. You will definitely enjoy this one. So, next one. Experts say part of the worst part of COVID is behind us. Cool. So experts like Dr. Fauci think there's a really good chance the worst of the US pandemic is behind us. Huh. Okay, Yahoo News. Okay, let's see. According to a new Yahoo News YouGov poll, 2/3 of Americans are either somewhat or very worried about the newer, potentially more contagious COVID-19 variants that have triggered huge overseas outbreaks and are now spreading in the United States. Those concerns are valid, but maybe it's time for Americans to start worrying a little less. To be clear, worrying less about variants doesn't mean abandoning precautions. Nothing will suppress cases and shorten the U.S. pandemic like wearing a mask, avoiding indoor gathering, staying 6 feet apart, and getting vaccinated. Yet, in recent days, health experts like Dr. Anthony Fauci have begun sounding less pessimistic about the dangers of a fourth variant-driven wave and more optimistic about a return to something resembling normal life as soon as this summer. Asked if the worst of the pandemic was behind the U.S., Fauci told Yahoo News Tuesday that it might be. "I'm not absolutely 100% certain," he continued, "but there's a really good chance that we will do fine, at least in the immediate future." By now, most Americans are probably familiar with B.1.1.7, the so-called UK variant, the B.1.351, the so-called South African variant, and the P.1, the so-called Brazilian variant. Each of them has spike protein mutations. Yeah. So, is it really behind us? We're going to talk a little bit about that. The worst part of COVID is behind us. Okay. So if the worst part of COVID is behind us, we don't need to worry, right? But they were still saying like, oh, but this, oh, but we still need to practice guidelines, all these different things, right? But why does it seem like COVID just ain't it shouldn't be a fear for us no more, when for a whole year it's been a fear, right? I mean, is it the vaccine? Because not everyone's getting the vaccine, so like I don't understand the whole concept of, oh, it's good now, don't worry about it, right? Don't worry about it, because the worst part of it is behind us, right? We should all pretty much be living a normal life by the summer, right? Everything should be back to normal. Venues are opening back up. Certain locations are opening back up. You could eat in the restaurants again. All these little things, right? Shoot, I was at the mall and it was swarmed with people, right? So are we just going back to, life is going to be back to normal? Is that what you're saying? Because if that's the case, okay, the worst part is behind us. We ain't got to worry no more. We ain't got to worry no more, right? We could just go ahead, go on with our day and just be like, you know what, everything cherry. We don't need this no more, right? This ain't an issue no more. This ain't an issue no more. Forget that. That ain't even a problem no more, right? All these different things. It's like, okay, so if that's not so if it's the worst part is behind us, we don't need to worry, but still have precautions, but we gonna be back to normal pretty soon. Okay, cool. I'm all for being back to normal. I'm all back for normancy, right? I'm all back for a normal life again. But I just don't understand this whole concept. Like, is science really this in-depth that it's so complicated that they don't even know it? But when they tell us, we don't even know. But we just gotta take their word for it and just believe that everything's gonna be back to normal. Because you know what? If I start seeing people around me, people that just they were so like, oh, adamant, didn't matter what, if I start seeing hypocrisy around me, bro, I'm going to start questioning everything. I already see hypocrisy around me all the time anyways. But it's like, if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you so much, more than you ever know. So, Crayon Rocket, our motto is be unique, be creative, be you. Why is this important? Because we were all created in the image of God. We were all perfectly and wonderfully made. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Share it, like it, subscribe. I would appreciate it. God bless.